And we're also streaming.
You say we're ready?
Yes.
Six o'clock. Okay, everybody ready? All right, this meeting will come to order. This is sort of an emergency meeting to go over the materials that we have to submit for incorporation. I'll have some comments on that later, but we'll start off by doing roll call. Terry Miner.
Here.
Cale Martin.
Here.
Jess Bird is here. Scott Dubé.
Scott's here.
And Craig Smith.
Here.
Okay, we're all here. Terry, since you're first, would you lead us in a pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Terry.
That's senior abuse.
Okay, first item on the agenda is public comment. Seeing none, we'll proceed.
Any online?
And yeah, any
Double checking, I don't see any. None there. Nope.
Okay. We'll move on to the reason for this meeting. Approve incorporation materials for submission on 12/16/21. That is tomorrow.
Do we have to close public comment or anything?
I don't think it ever opened. Thank you, though. Okay. First off, there's a cover letter that will be submitted with all of this, and I'll just go ahead and read that cover letter if everybody's okay with that. This is addressed to Utah Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson. Attached to this cover letter are 3 documents: Utah Retirement System letter, notice of impending boundary action, which will be signed and notarized tomorrow on the way to the Lieutenant Governor's office, and the final local entity plat for the city of Erda, which we do not have in final form because it is not approved by the county. This is a copy of the Mylar or more permanent map that has been given to the county surveyor, in which they are in the process of approving that right now, or I should say reviewing pending approval. And I believe that's it. Those are the 3 documents we'll be submitting. Attached, so it goes on with a note that says, please be aware that the attached local entity plat is only a copy. The signed original pursuant to Utah Code 17-23-20 is, as of this writing, being reviewed by the Tooele County Surveyor. An electronic copy of this map had been previously submitted to the county surveyor on the 10th. We had hoped that the review and approval process would be complete by December 16th, but such is not the case. The city of Erda requests a continuance to allow more time for the county to finish their processing of the map, that it may be submitted to the Lieutenant Governor. Please do not hesitate to contact me with any questions or concerns. So the task we've got ahead of us is to look these things over. We're going to vote to approve that Cale and I can go submit these to the Lieutenant Governor tomorrow morning. And with that approval, we'll be approved to do that, and then we can go on to some comments from council members. Are there any questions or anything?
I just make a motion that we take what we got here to Lieutenant Governor's tomorrow.
I'll second that. It's incomplete, but it's what we have, so, turning in nothing is not an option. So we turn in what we have.
Okay, motion before the floor is to take these materials for incorporation, albeit incomplete, into the Lieutenant Governor's office the morning of Thursday, December 16th, 2021. And it has been seconded. We'll bring it for the floor for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Thank you. Motion passes. I forgot to vote aye, but just go on the record. I vote yes. We do move forward with these. Okay. Now we've got comments. And I would feel greedy if I just start out with my comments. So I'm going to open it up to whoever else has some comments for us.
Nothing from me.
Okay.
Scott?
So we're sending, this is our application to the Lieutenant Governor for the incorporation. So how do we handle the mayor thing?
Chairman. Jess is the chairman, and he signs for it.
Okay, but this says, one of which is a mayor. And then in section 5, it says the mayor-elect.
We elected him as a chairperson.
As the chair.
As the mayor. It's just,
Chairman, we should acting.
yeah, he acts as the mayor, as the chairperson.
Okay, but that's not what this says. Is that gonna cause a problem for us?
No.
I believe every document that, like this, that goes to the federal or state government is going to have the word mayor on it.
I agree, but,
The county attorney
But it
reviewed it,
shouldn't
and he
say-
didn't think there was a problem.
okay, good enough.
That's good.
I didn't say that.
Acting.
Say that loud.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to have to read this because there's just too much information on here for me to be able to get this to you any other way. I would like to make a few comments about our final local entity plat. There has been a misunderstanding between the city and the county surveyor about what is required to approve this map before it can be submitted to the Lieutenant Governor's office. The city has received an invoice from the surveyor's office for $116,250 to review the map. I believe that this is because they are treating our map the same as if it were an application for a subdivision or boundary or development by a private party. However, this is not the case. The map establishes the boundary for an incorporating city. Emphasis on boundary. For those who wish to read more about this, please go online and check out Utah Code Section 17-23-20. Sections 3 and 4 stipulates the role of a county surveyor and the county recorder in the process. Section 5 mentions collecting a reasonable fee. All right. In talking to a new city mayor and two municipal attorneys who are very familiar with this process, I've been hearing the same thing over and over. At this point in the game, the county should be reviewing the overall boundary description, and that's the legal description, which is in fine print here. It's quite long because Erda's a large area. But they should be reviewing the overall boundary legal description, not individual parcels. This process typically takes 1 to 2 days, and usually a nominal fee is charged, less than $100. Now, I grant that Erda's boundary is pretty large. Perhaps something around $1,000 is a fair price for this boundary review. Last note, Utah Code Section 67-1A-6.5 talks about signatures to be included on the map, including the local entity's approving authority. And so I would say to you, this map could not have been submitted before the city council was sworn in. And just so you know, I don't know how to get this to our online people, but here on this map, again, this is a copy of what the county has right now. It says acceptance by legislative body and has a place for the mayor-elect, which I will be signing, and acting city recorder, basically witnessing that I signed this, and that's Corey Warnick. And so I've heard it going through the rumor mill that, you know, the sponsors dropped the ball and should have had this map to the county a lot or sooner than they did, and I just don't see how that could have been possible since an elected representative needed to sign the map. And again, in what I've said earlier, talking to new city mayor and municipal attorneys, this process is usually done fairly quickly and usually without too much trouble. So we're hoping to have this quickly. I kind of doubt that we have it by tomorrow, which is why we're proceeding with what we have.
We open to public comment again, now that we've got public.
I hear a motion to reopen for public comment. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to reopen public comment. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we'll reopen the floor to public comment. There's been some new people come in and I thought I heard a couple of dings. Do we have anyone that would like to comment tonight? Mr. Recorder?
We did hear one ding, but sorry, there is one person there, but they do not want to.
Can I comment on this now?
Let's close public comment. Motion to close. I will move to close public comment.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
So what does Jerry Houghton say? When, have we explained our understanding of this to him?
Ryan explained it in detail to him today. Ryan Sorensen, a city sponsor who handed over the Mylar map this morning to Jerry Houghton, I believe it was Jerry that he handed it to, did explain these codes and some of what I've just explained to you. And so yes, it has been explained to him.
And what was his?
We don't have the map.
We didn't get a conclusive response.
Are you gonna?
I do believe he did say that he would try to have something for us, notes or something of that nature by this Friday, so 2 days.
You gonna give him a call tomorrow on the way in, before you go in, just to see if something has changed?
I think it makes sense.
Well, there's a certain amount of miscommunication because Jerry was explaining it to me last night that every single parcel in all of the boundary has to be changed.
Down the road.
Well, as soon as we become an incorporated entity.
There is a process where the tax IDs have to swap from one to the other.
And I think that's where the 116,000 comes from.
In some of these codes that I've mentioned, or in the Utah State Code, it does mention that. It does not mention that happens at this stage of the game, but it does happen, and it is the duty of the county recorder to do that.
But that's Jerry Houghton.
So,
But for the lieutenant governor, all he had to do is verify the legal
A
description.
charge of $116,000 would be, I believe, completely unprecedented in the city, or in the state of Utah.
okay, so, and I'm not sure if I understood then what Jerry was saying last night. Because he said that's what he's working on.
Yes.
See, the catch is to go to the lieutenant governor, if you go by the code or whatever, all they had to do is review the legal description of the boundaries. And then sign off that this is a legal deal. Then,
We're not overlapping some other
That-
city or.
that we take
Yeah,
to the lieutenant governor's office, and then he can go on and physically do that other, just like with a development or whatever, where he's gotta change all the plats and all the different things. That's
I
a
think that
second.
makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But it calls for a certified plat. And that's probably where we're getting confused between us and the county surveyor.
Well, one's boundary and one is the plat and the whole 9 yards.
One has to get turned in, the other.
So,
The plat goes to the county, then it goes to the state, then it goes back to the county to be recorded.
Yeah, I think that's right. Somehow we just gotta,
We've got to be
we
able
gotta
to,
talk this through.
we've been unable to talk this through successfully so far.
Hopefully tonight after that explanation, somebody's watching and put two and two together and get this done.
I'll be honest with you, I've talked with Jerry a couple times, and I think he's doing everything in his power to help us right now. The way he reads the law is the boundary and the plat is all one. Whether he reads it right or not, I don't know, because I'm not a surveyor, a recorder, or an attorney. But that's the way that they've always typically handled it. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't know, but I think he's,
this is for a new
But-
city,
but this
not
is
just
a
a development.
Incorporation of a city, not a development. And
yeah, but.
How
but
many
all the
city
parcels,
incorporations has Jerry done?
I don't know if he's done any. I don't know when Stockton would have been before, Rush Valley, he may have done Vernon. I don't know when he came in those processes. But I do know at some point in time, every parcel on there needs to be changed to Erda City, or we receive no tax revenue from it.
Correct.
And it would make sense that all that is done first. But, like I say, I am not a surveyor, recorder, or an attorney. So I'm not gonna try to lay any judgment there, other than I do think Jerry wants us to succeed and is doing everything in his power to help at this point.
I'd agree with you.
Well, yeah, he said he wasn't holding anything up. He wasn't worried about that price right off or whatever. He was continuing to do his job.
Well, I just wanted to share with you what I had read and kind of just, you know, when I tell these municipal attorneys who have been through this process over and over again, you know, the invoice that we received and the job that has been explained to us by Mr. Houghton, that maybe there's some misunderstanding there in what's required of the Utah code at this point in the game.
Well, hopefully it's all resolved quickly and done.
I have another matter of business.
Floor's yours.
So Terry's printed up an RFP for, you know, requesting legal services. Do we need to, as a body, approve that? Or about the request for proposals? Seems like we would. And I wonder if we could do that.
I thought
If we
we
didn't
already
do that
had.
here.
We've got that slated to discuss in detail in tomorrow's meeting.
Oh,
Okay. I don't know, how much in depth do we want to get in there? We almost made a 20-minute meeting.
We're still there.
It's up
If
to you.
if tomorrow's fine with me,
It's not an agenda item for tonight.
Craig and I discussed that a little bit, and we've got some opinions on that.
I Googled it too. It says 45 days minimum.
we have to advertise for 45 days.
In a legal RFP.
Seeing nothing else on the agenda, I move we adjourn.
Second?
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Well, meeting adjourned.
Yeah, that's what I learned about RFPs, is it's a 2 to 3 month process.
We've gotta have it before we can hire an attorney, don't we?
We can hire one without an RFP.
Oh, really? Oh, no, that's
I think we can and we should.
That's not good.
Can you email me a copy of the statement that you read?
Just give him that.
This one that
Yeah,
my statement.
yeah, but I can't write as fast